Is Jake Paul ducking Tommy Fury? We'll see.
Okay, guys, so there's been some talk about Tommy Fury, right? And a lot of talk about him versus Jake Paul. And I wanted to talk about, is Tommy Fury the real deal? Because a lot of people are calling Tommy Fury the real deal and Jake not the real deal and this and that. When in reality, they're both at a similar point in their boxing careers. Are they at a similar skill level? Well, we're going to go over that and we're going to get into that right now. Guys, Tommy Fury was calling out Jake Paul pretty profusely, and Jake kind of pretended that he was interested in that fight, and then has proved to us that he's definitely not interested in that fight. Whether Jake is interested in that fight and his management isn't, or the other way around, is kind of, that's hearsay, right? We can't
Yeah,
know
we
that
don't
for a
know that
fact,
part.
but I will dive into this with Tommy Fury. Now, guys, what a lot of people don't know about boxing is nobody starts boxing and faces high-level guys, and Tommy Fury has definitely done the definition of that. He didn't really have an amateur career that most other guys would have had. So his father and his team want to really slowly get him into the art of boxing and get him experience in the ring. So up until this point, his opponents have had pretty dramatic loss records, right? We're talking about, I think one of them had 106 losses. This is common in boxing, and this is very common in especially the early stages of a guy like Tommy Fury, who I think he's 22, man, right? He's a young guy. And his team has profusely said he will not be rushed. That's something I really respect. However, in his last fight, he actually went up against a guy that was undefeated and actually gave him a little bit of a fight. So it's the best example of his skill level yet, because this guy actually came to bang, he actually came to throw hands, and we get to see what level Tommy Fury is at. Can Jake Paul fight at this level? And I'll detail exactly what I think. I'll detail.
I want to state this before getting into it. I think Jake is good. I've always said Jake and Logan. They're both good in their respective categories, but never comparing to a lot of these interesting kind of fights. Can I see Logan beating Anderson Silva? Yeah. Do I see Anderson Silva beating Logan? Yeah. Do I see Jake beating Tyron Woodley? Yes and no, but it's a weird thing because Logan could step onto Floyd Mayweather, but I don't think that's a crazy fight. But Jake against Conor McGregor's a crazy fight. The reason being is because Logan, to me, I feel like is always in a comfortable position where he's in a good way where he doesn't have to be like how Jake is doing. Because I think the best way to put it, um, homeboy we watched, he did tearless video. We reacted to it. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry, but he stated that the difference between Jake and Logan very quickly. He stated like Jake is doing the basics of of boxing, while Logan is like trying to reinvent the wheel. Like it's basically what Logan's making a brand new style for himself, while Jake is using a basic boxing style, the little knowledge that he knows, and making it go beyond that. I think one thing I will always say about Jake, he's good for that, but I don't think if he steps up to the wrong opponent, which would be Tommy Fury in this case, do I see him beating Tommy Fury? Yes, I think he could do something to Tommy Fury. I think that would be the 2, 3 year down the line fight, not the Canelo Alvarez, because I don't think Jake needs 3 years to beat Canelo. I think he needs 12. The reason I say such a big number is because Canelo is not to be toyed with. He's not to be messed with. Floyd Mayweather embarrassed him, yes, but that doesn't mean, excuse me, everybody else can. Look how many fights he's walked through. Even if they were journeymen, even if they were serious opponents or not, look how many of them he walked through. Now let's compare it to Jake. Jake beat Deji in a hard hitting fight that he could have lost. He took on a Nissan Gibb. If a Nissan Gibb would have been a little more calm, a Nissan Gibb could have done better in the fight. Nate Robinson fight was always going to be him. Same with the Ben Askren. Ben Askren could have, the fight could have gone longer. Now he's against Tyron Woodley. That I will say, Jake has to be on his P's and Q's to win this fight. This is not a simple, easy win for Jake. Jake does not go out in the good position for this fight. He doesn't. He has to be on the P's and Q's. He has to be a better boxer than he's been throughout the entire time we've seen him. Tommy Fury, I don't think he can do it. I don't think he beats Tommy Fury at this particular junction, and I think he knows it. I think that's why he ducks Tommy Fury. He ducked it was somebody that was training with Connor. Like that guy, like yeah, he don't want to do that, but he wants to make the little video of him. Oh, he got knocked out though. Yeah, he got knocked out, but he's out there fighting though. He's fighting. I guess after a while, you kind of forget the win loss record after a while, and you look at skill to skill, which is what they're doing to Tommy Fury at that particular moment. I think Tommy beats him, and looking at how Tommy fights, he's probably going to try to go for the KO instead of just whatever happens. We'll see.
Why I think that Jake Paul sort of ducked this fight, which is a reality situation. Jake Paul definitely did not want to sign this contract, or at least his team did not want to sign this contract. I think they'll probably fight eventually, but I don't see it happening anytime soon because Tommy Fury, as we'll see, is a real boxer. Is he some super high-level world-class boxer? Not yet, man, but he's working there. That's definitely what he actually wants to do with his life. He wants to be a boxer, just like Jake Paul, right? They both were celebrities and had great celebrity shows, right? I think Tommy Fury went on one of those dating shows where he got a massive following from it. He has more followers on Instagram than his brother, who is heavyweight champion of the world, one of the heavyweight champions of the world. So, I mean, it is what it is, guys, but let's dive right into it. Let's see his skill level. I'll sort of talk about Jake Paul, which is, watch that video. I'll take it right here of Jake Paul where I detail his boxing ability, and we'll show the gaps and the differences here. What's crazy, guys, is I know this fight better than anyone because that's me fighting Tommy Fury. I'm just kidding, guys, obviously. So right away, man, we see Tommy get clipped with the right hand there, right? And Tommy, just like his brother, has a habit of keeping his hands pretty low when he's boxing. He darts in and out and he feints well, but he keeps his hands super low, and they focus, the Furies, they focus a lot more on their footwork and their placement within the ring to defend themselves than their actual hands. You guys know me. I'm not a huge fan of that.
His opponent, I will state this. His opponent, I wouldn't say looks the absolute best. I would say you can tell he looks more of like he's trying to go for the knockout at the moment. Like he's trying to get it done early. You would say, well, no, he's not. He's pacing himself. That's not pacing yourself. When you throw that, I'm sorry. Example, if you're throwing it like that's not a simple he's pacing himself. No, he's trying to quickly try to take him out. He's trying to get him out of there very quickly. He's going for broke. He's really going for it, but no. I sparred like that before. That's not the ideal way because that leaves yourself completely open. I mean, Jake does that a lot also. He leaves himself open a lot when he throws. Like sometimes his hands, when he feels like he's not in danger, he puts his hands low. But I think against Tyron Woodley, I think he's gonna have his hands up. I think he should. I hope.
But we'll go into how he operates and how he works.
Upgrade to watch videos ad-free, offline, and in the background. Start a free trial of YouTube Premium today.
I've been out of school for 4 or 5 years now, and I've loved welding. And you sure make a whole lot more money than you do.
Works. We can see right away the way he pivots, the way he moves, the way he slides backwards and pivots and changes angles. That's at a completely different level than Jake Paul, right?
I will state this. Jake's footwork is not the absolute best. I think the true thing for a lot of different things is this. The Gib fight, like I stated, I will always state this because I believe it wholeheartedly that if Gib could have calmed down a lot more and would have did like he did to Taylor Holder, that fight would have either went two ways. Jake would have still won the fight, but it would have been later down the line, or Gib could have won off of points. The reason I believe so is because Jake has proven that pressure-wise, he cannot handle as well as he always states he could. Gib gave him pressure, but he was able to crack it to basically beat that version of Gib at that in particular moment. This may not have been the fight that a lot of people wanted, or the outcome we wanted, but that's what happened. So of course him versus, because I think it was shown he was talking about this when he was reacting to how good the video, and he was like how good of a boxer is Jake Paul. I thought it was kind of late for him to make that video, but I don't know, because looking at it, I never really noticed that he actually ran from Ben and he crossed his legs throughout it in a panic. And even if it was only a few seconds, he panicked against Ben Askren. Not in shape Ben Askren, ready for the fight, out of shape. Said, if you beat me, I guess. Kind of really didn't care too much for the fight. Askren. Yes. Yes, Jake. You're the king.
He's super high level. Like I said, not yet. He's got the salon quality hair, so credit where credit is due for that. That's super important when it comes to fighting. But he moves really, really well, and that's
Very
a Fury
true.
trademark. It's not surprising that he moves that well, but he moves really, really well. As we saw with Jake, man, Jake does not move that well. Jake really, stumbles over his feet. He doesn't move nearly as well as Tommy Fury here, but Tommy Fury moves well. I talked about how important feints are. I think
He ran into the ropes. That you would say that's a major no, but from what he did, he quickly touched the ropes. He realized he was on the ropes, and he quickly got out the way. Jake's probably not on that right now. If he's on the ropes, he'll probably sit on the ropes for a second or two. He'll probably have to take that look back, that real quick types of nah. This is not the fight for him. This is the 2-3 year fight we should be preparing for instead of Canelo, because he's not touching Canelo. If he connects a punch against Canelo, Canelo clips him and ends Jake's whole career. Let's say Jake really gets past everybody else in 3 years' time. He takes on Canelo Alvarez in a title match. It doesn't have to be in the title match. It could be a whole exhibition. It's over. It's not happening. No, Jake.
that's something you're going to see throughout this fight. I'm going to skip through here, guys. I'm not going to watch every minute of it, obviously. That would be pretty copyright. But we can see that, Tommy throws feints constantly, like continuously throughout the fight. He's throwing feints. He's not doing 1-2s and then waiting around, and then he's not just like waiting and then throwing a 1-2. None of that. He's throwing feints constantly. He's always moving. His hands are always all over the place.
And that's the thing that separates real fighters from, let's be real, YouTube fighters. You have to understand, us as YouTubers, when it comes to a fight, we can be taught the obvious. We can all be taught the obvious. We can all be taught how to box. But the one thing that separates each and every one of us is how we fight when there is that rest period, when nobody's throwing anything, when someone's waiting to load up the big right or the big left or the big power shot that's going to put him down or could seriously hurt him. When it comes to stuff like that, you know what some of us do? We'll wait. We may feint a little bit to knowing that we have to try and get them, to try and provoke them to try and make a move that we're ready for. But Jake, on the other hand, he's normally the aggressor in the fight, and you can tell that. I think they use this line in the WWE ones. I know the WWE and boxing separate, but I want to use it. The Rock said this about Brock Lesnar for the whole Roman Reigns thing. He said, we've seen Brock Lesnar on the offense. Now it's time to see him on the defense. I don't think Jake's defense is ready to handle someone who can actually throw back. And I don't mean in a simple, basic way. If it's a tad bit complex, I think they have the victory, basically, by that. Jake shouldn't fight Tommy Fury. I would tell, if I was part of his team, if I was anyone important to Jake, I would tell him, no, you're not fighting Tommy Fury, you're not fighting Canelo. You want to fight Canelo? 12 years, you should be ready to step in the ring with him. I don't even know about beating him, but 12 years, maybe even more. But Tommy Fury, I guess 3, 4 years, maybe 3, 4 years, 2 maybe. You got to learn a little bit more. It's no longer just about power shot, power shot. It's not all about loading up the big overhand right. It's not a simple case, Jake. You gotta understand that if Jake steps up to Tommy Fury, let's say right after the whole, let's say he beats Tyron Woodley. Don't care what round it is. Let's say he calls out Tommy Fury. Let's say that's the next fight. Tommy Fury's winning. There's no question about it. And some people would say, a lot of people said the same thing about Nate Robinson. Deji, even a Nissan Gear, Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley. What makes him so different? What makes him different is he actually knows how to box wise. He's not just learning how to box to step in the ring. He knows how to box. He doesn't have to be on the high level capacity of a Mayweather or high level capacity of a Pacquiao. All he has to be is basically his own style of high level on that level. Off the bat, he's already shown just in literally the first few seconds of the opening of the first round, he's shown something Jake does not have yet. If Jake is able to show this probably in a better form and without tripping over his feet, without having a panic moment, good. Other than that, no. Tommy Fury looks better, Tommy Fury is better, and Tommy Fury will hurt Jake. I think he should be ducking him.
He's always trying to make his opponent make reads of what he's going to do. That's mentally exhausting, man. I'm telling you right now. It's very mentally exhausting for your opponent to have to sort of try to read your movements constantly.
Look at that. Look.
That is a brilliant combination. We'll see.
Go back. Look at this. Look at him on the ropes.
To have to sort of try to read your movements constantly. That is a brilliant combination.
Jake cannot fight him. No. The entire thing of this whole reign of Jake Paul ends as soon as that contract is signed, unless Jake is ready for this. It's funny to say that Tommy Fury could be the one. Tommy Fury can beat Jake Paul because what he just did there, just that little burst of skill, just that little bit, just showed that Tommy Fury can fight, not only charging at you, but even backing up. He's good on the defense. What? Jake, we haven't really seen Jake on the defense. Jake is known for basically, at this point, being the over-aggressor. He's known for being the big guy with the power shots and everything like that. In all these fights he's had, he's been bigger than all of his opponents. Cool, dandy, fine, yeah. But someone to actually have that skill on him, I don't think that should happen. He should continue to fight people with height. I don't suggest he fights Conor, and the reason I don't is because Conor beats him. And I think Conor beats him because Jake won't be able to outstrike Conor. And yes, I guess that because I don't think Jake can handle the pressure wise of someone who can actually legitimately strike. Yes, the same for Tyron Woodley. That's a little scary, but I guess he has the benefit of saying, well, he probably don't have that much in the tank anymore. That's the only benefit that Jake will possibly get is Tyron Woodley doesn't have it in the tank anymore. That's the end. I'm sorry for pausing so much and making it much longer, but I'm just getting my opinion out there about this. I like Jake, but this is not it for you, bro.
We'll see it in slow motion in a second here.
Oh my gosh, he goes in slow motion.
Slips and then throws the right hand.
Look at how he did that. Watch this. Oh my gosh, you gonna show it, bro?
Ooh. Cut, slip, pivots away. Brilliant, man. He sneaks that in there right there. You know what's crazy to me, man, is these 4-round fights is like you can't really get started in a 4-round fight. You look at Floyd Mayweather, he barely even starts his fight in the first 4 rounds. So, you know, in this situation, it's a bit weird. It's a bit different than what we're used to, but, you know, it is what it is, right? That's kind of how they all start. Right there, man. You see his head movement? You see the way he just absolutely can make reads and make adjustments and slip and move? Like, look at this right here. Jab, slips the right hand, slips the jab, and then he tries to go in for the clinch. Gets a little bit sloppy there. I mean, for a guy who's just starting his boxing career, really, right? He was focused on other things for a little bit there. That's pretty good stuff, man. He's
Yeah.
moving really, really well. A couple people in the comments of when this fight happened, they said they scored it 2-2. Under no condition was this fight 2-2, okay? Tommy Fury very clearly wins, right? So watch right here. This is where he throws that uppercut and then he slips out of there. This is a brilliant read, man. And it really goes to show, especially with his opponent, me here, you know, I'm pushing the pressure in a different way than Ben Askren was pushing the pressure, right? What's crazy and what a lot of people won't realize here, Jordan Grant here is better than any opponent Jake Paul has faced by a lot. Even though he only had, I think, 2 wins or 1 win, he's like levels above any opponent Jake has faced right now. And Tommy Fury is making him look not nearly at his level, right? So when we talk about level of competition, that's what I'm talking about. We got to wonder, you know, is Jake Paul even as good as Jordan Grant right here? We don't even know that. He could very well be worse. So that's what it shows us here. When we see Tommy Fury moving and slipping and making these reads and adjustments, I think he could really clown Jake at this point in their careers, honestly. Look at this. Boom, uppercut, slips the counter, gets underneath that one. That's brilliant motion right there, man.
The skill, it's bad. It's really bad for Jake. He said that he doesn't want the KSI fight anymore. He's past it. Cool, dope. You say you're beefing with the Furies now. You may want to give up on it. You know what you did to KSI? The whole "I'm a pussy." Yeah, you may want to use that one real quick. You may want to re-upload that video or something, bro. Send that to their DMs, cause I want to say 3 years or 4. I say another 3 or 4 years for Jake, and maybe Jake can do stuff like that. I think Jake is good. Offensive wise, of course he's good. He has the power, he has the speed, but one thing he's been lacking is the response. Sometimes he has good moments of slipping punches. Sometimes he has good moments of it, but okay, no, not really. Let's be real. No, not really. His defensive wise never really looked the best. The only time it really showed anything was against basically a Nissan Gate. Once again, that was the best thing he's had, because you would say, well, what about the Nate Robinson fight? The guy charged at him multiple times over. Of course, you're going to eventually find a timing to it if the guy throughout the entire fight just charged at you and barely hit you a few times. Was able to clip you a few good times, yeah. But, of course, when he's chasing you down the ring and you know he's no threat to you. It's so weird, though, that all this is happening. Jake, bro, you're in dangerous waters, and you're not about to sit well if you sign too many of these fights. He said that he's not interested in the whole Tommy Fury. I don't care if your team or you are not interested. Stay uninterested. Stay uninterested. At his basic, on a amateur level, he is actually good. He is scary good. That is not good for Jake whatsoever. Even if every fight Tommy Fury has staged, he is too good at the moment. He will end Jake. Jake going night-night. Sleepy time, Jake. That's what we're going to start calling it. Because oh my goodness.
See that beautiful jab, sticks that jab.
Oh my god,
God.
look at this man on the defense. Look at him.
That's fantastic stuff, guys. You really can't take that away from him.
Oh my gosh.
Now, something else I want you guys to focus on throughout the course of this fight is Tommy Fury is efficient with his movement, right? So he's coming in and he's not really putting a lot onto these shots, right? He's always feinting and slipping and moving in, and then he just snaps the jab out there, and then he'll commit and throw the 1-2 and then slide out of there really quickly. Now, he's able to do that because, you know, like I talked about before, he's not over-committing into any of his shots. He's throwing his hands out.
The COVID vaccine is my way to get on with life. In the pit, in the air, in the stands. We can do this.
Get off my screen, bro.
Out there and he's touching his opponent, but he's not throwing and overcommitting and throwing himself off balance or or anything like that. He's not doing any of that. He's brilliantly moving, efficiently touching his opponent when he needs to, throwing the shots that land hard when he wants those shots and he sees those opportunities. You know, that's how you do a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 round fight, right? That's how you get into the later rounds, is being efficient with your movement. It's not necessarily that you have the greatest cardio in the world. It's that you're efficient with how you move.
Yeah.
See that right there? Jab, slide back. Jab, slides back again, right? He's not overcommitting to any of these shots.
Look at how good he is on these exchanges. He may not be, like I said, he may not be smooth with every single one, but he is his own version of smooth.
Get pressured, that's when you'll see them sort of fall apart, right? It's pretty easy to conduct your own game plan.
Yeah.
How do you react when someone's conducting their game plan
Yeah.
against you? How do you make the adaptations? How do you react under pressure? Watch the way Tommy Fury just glides out of danger right here. This is beautiful. Boom, just slides back, glides out of danger, keeps his stance perfectly, and then he gets cracked. But I mean, for a second there, he was doing well, right? And that's because he tried to make that uppercut again, and it just sort of bit him. That's not perfect because he's got a lot of room to grow.
It's
and like I
fine.
said,
It
would
wasn't
like to
the
see his
worst
hands up
case
there.
scenario. He didn't
Sometimes
get
you
really
bit when you're trying
gamed
to
too
make
much,
moves
but
like that
it's
and
good.
interrupt people mid-combination. So he slides back, right? Throws the right hand, and then he, off the ropes, creates an angle for himself and delivers like a...
This is not it, Jake. Please don't fight Tommy Fury. Please, what the fuck? He's trying to fight Canelo, and Canelo could whoop Tommy Fury. Please, Jake. 3 in the next 3 years I can fight. In the next 3 years, maybe you may have a little more knowledge. You may, because the thing with Jake, they're probably really teaching him a little bit on defense, a little bit on countering certain things. But I think it's clear as day that Jake is more of the offensive and less on the defensive. And before anyone says, well, let's see how he handled Nissan Gibb. All right, let's see how he handled Nissan Gibb. All right, let's see how he's going to handle Tyron Woodley. How is that going to work? How is someone that can charge at you same as you charge at him? Probably even different. Probably could copy from the looks of it. My man's look like he can be on some Mike Tyson levels of stuff. Well, more of older Mike Tyson levels of stuff. That's scary. It's scary to say because I don't think this is the fight. I can't give this to Jake. I couldn't let Jake do this, bro. If this fight ever gets announced, I'm just gonna be, oh Lord, because I know this man's about to grow. He's about to get better. Tommy Fury's not gonna be on the same level when he fights Jake. If he ever does, he's gonna be above that. What we're watching right now, he may just, that may be the worst version of him compared to what he could be. He's getting hit, showing that he's not perfect with everything, but he is good. He's good enough that Jake doesn't touch him. When I mean touch him, I don't mean in the sense Jake can't physically touch the man. I mean in the sense of Jake isn't beating the man. Jake can probably hit him a few good times. Jake will probably have to. Jake will probably go ballistic if he feels like, oh, I got him. Boom, 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 boom. And if he's able to get out of there and just hit Jake one good time, Jake is going to sleep. Jake going to look for 1 second. Boom. Oh, it's over. We're going to meme it. It's over. It's over. Night, Jake. Night. You just started all this stuff. And I heard you in talks with Connor's team. Cool. Dope. We'll see how this works for you. But at the moment, I don't see it, bro. I can't see it. I'm sorry. Tommy Fury's not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
3-4 punch combination.
Look at this man. Oh my gosh, look at how he did that.
Boom, creates that angle for himself. That would be Jake's
Okay,
only hope right there.
okay.
If he
That
could
was a
catch
miss.
Tommy
That's
Fury
fine.
like
That's
that,
fine. Watch
he could
this.
probably hurt Tommy. He definitely hits harder than
Okay.
Fury right now.
Another
But
miss. That's fine.
realistically, I think Tommy would be aware of that and not allow that to happen. Guys, there's no ifs, ands, or buts here about it. Tommy Fury is levels above Jake Paul right now, right? And there's a reason that Tommy Fury and his team want the fight to happen as soon as possible because they know the longer they let Jake train, the better Jake will get. That being said, man, the longer Jake lets Tommy Fury train, the better Tommy Fury is going to get. Do I see this fight happening, man? People have been calling for Jake Paul to fight a real boxer for a while now. There's no better real boxer for Jake Paul to fight than Tommy Fury. This is the only fight that makes sense. Tommy Fury has a huge social media following. He's got, a terrible record at the point right now where I think he's like 4-5-0 against people that are just clear journeymen, right? Neither are proven. Jake Paul hasn't fought anyone with any real talent yet at all, especially in the boxing ring. Ben Askren was obviously a talented wrestler, which is like beating Tiger Woods in basketball. But in reality, guys, right now, Jake Paul is not nearly at the level Tommy Fury is at. When you see the way Tommy Fury can make reads, slide and move his head, when you see the way Tommy Fury can interrupt combinations, the way Tommy Fury reacts when under pressure, the way Tommy Fury pressures, how efficient Tommy Fury is, all these things, even though Tommy Fury is a, bang average guy right now, okay? In the sense that he hasn't had the amateur career. He hasn't had the big title fights. He hasn't had any of that stuff, right? This is, totally normal, average boxing starter of career stuff, right? This isn't, crazy out of the wazoo where you would look at this and say, well, Jake Paul has no chance. Guys, if Jake Paul's talking about fighting Canelo Alvarez, if he even has those words in his mouth, he's going to have to fight a boxer one day, right? So this is the only boxer that makes sense. And as we can see right now, man, the levels are just the gap is pretty wide. There's no reason for this to happen. I think Jake Paul will talk smack to Tommy Fury and then try to establish weird rules about the fight that would make it impossible to happen. But in reality, guys, there is no reason for this fight to happen right now. This is levels to this game, right? If Jake Paul can come in and show another leap in improvement against Tyron Woodley and do really, really well. What the hell is that?
I don't know, what is it? I think we call those ads.
Which he might, I've been wrong before about this kid, and I got to really stop doubting him, right? But if he does that, then maybe we could even have this conversation. But right now, man, Tommy Fury is moving great. He lands the punches he needs to land. He's efficient. He glides in and out. He's durable. He hasn't shown any sign of getting hurt by any of these shots that have landed on him. We got to look at the levels, right? The levels of this game. That being said, man, I think it would be a fun fight. I would love to see Jake Paul in there against some real talent. I think it would bring out the best in him. I do think he would lose. I think he would lose pretty handily in this fight.
Yep.
I think that's why they're going to wait a while before they take it to try to get Jake Paul's skill level up. I believe that Jake Paul does believe he can beat him, but right now he can't, right? So when they revisit this fight, we'll see how it goes, man. I think it could be fun. It could be exciting. I'd love to see Tommy Fury get back in there again. I want to see him keep getting better. 175, I believe, where he fights at. Not a very deep division, right? So he could do well in a division like 175. It's not like he's fighting at 160. So, let's see how he does, guys. Hey, guys, thanks for watching Roundhouse Radio. If you would like to support the show...
Thank you for this. Him. He was the one who said it. That's the guy. My guy right there. That's my guy. In case I isn't ready for Jake, I'm sorry. But hey, other than that, I don't know, bro. This is not for Jake. It's not. This isn't Jake's. That wouldn't be Jake's fight. Jake should stick to what he's doing now. If he's gonna fight Connor's gonna be a very, very good striker. Probably won't hurt Jake too much, but he would. That's the thing. If Jake it shows like this boost in defense, because I don't care for offense. Okay, I'm sorry. Here I come, wife. I'm coming. But if Jake really is if Jake improves I'm coming, baby. Hold on. If Jake really, like, for real, really, like, improves defensive wise, because not offensive wise, because don't get me wrong, cool, you offensive wise, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't have improvements, but I want to see how you handle defensive wise. If you couldn't handle just Ben Askren charging at you, if you panicked for Ben Askren charging at you and you started to fumble a bit, Tyron Woodley, that's not good for you. Neither is Tommy Fury, Canelo, Connor. None of these fights seem as what's name as they are when you kind of take the second to realize Jake is good, but not as good as everyone keeps trying to chirp about. Amateur wise, great amateur wise. Pro wise, no. He at this time he is a one trick pony. He is Deontay Wilder Yeah, he's just basically the the power and with a little bit of speed to it. He's not all that. Don't get me wrong. I'm impressed with what he's able to do with that. Yeah, he's smart with it, but that doesn't mean he can get the job done against everybody. He can start beef, get into beef with many other celebrities, many other fighters. There are certain ones you just don't touch at the moment, Jake. If he's able to fight Connor next, Connor will be a better striker than him. Connor will be a very much better striker than him. We'll see how the fight goes, but at the moment, Jake needs to improve on defensive wise and a lot of other things. I say defensive in particular because to me it sits more in the defensive category than the offensive category. But that's just my thoughts on it. Jake Paul doesn't beat Tommy Fury. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.